Okay, let's unpack that feeling when you're trying to articulate something deeply personal, you know?
Hmm.
Like trying to explain the exact flavor of a memory, maybe. Words just, they fall short sometimes.
That's such a great starting point. The challenge of translating our inner worlds really
Yeah.
sets up why we need different ways to think about it.
Exactly. Which brings us to this document you shared titled The Restaurant Analogy. Now, it might sound, well, a bit unusual at first.
It's definitely a unique metaphor.
Yeah, but this deep dive, we're going to explore it because it's actually this really insightful way to understand the complexities inside.
It really is. The author used this idea of an inner restaurant as a framework, almost a map, for these different parts of themselves. Makes it feel more tangible.
So imagine your inner world isn't just this like swirl of abstract stuff. Instead, it's this unique, handcrafted restaurant.
Right, with its own rhythm and flow.
And it's got different personalities, staff members doing specific jobs. Emotions are like the dishes. And creative things are like tables set in hope.
I love that imagery. Emotions as dishes. It makes them feel like something real, something offered.
Yeah. And our focus today is really understanding the difference between what's being made in there, the production, the intention, and, well, what the outside world wants or expects, the consumption.
That tension is key. Production versus consumption. How we stay true to ourselves versus external pressures.
And also getting to know these staff members, right? What facets of ourselves do they represent? It's about getting a new angle on our internal dynamics.
Absolutely understanding that internal ecosystem.
Right, so let's really dig into this production versus consumption thing first.
Mhm.
Think about a normal restaurant. Usually the customer calls the shots, don't they?
Customization is often expected.
Yeah, like no onions, extra cheese, swap the fries for salad. The whole setup is often about pleasing individual preferences.
Totally. It's driven by external demand, customer satisfaction, good reviews, all that.
But this inner restaurant, it operates differently. There's this no substitutions rule.
That's a core principle here.
The meal is served as intended by the chef. If you ask for something else, it's a polite but firm, sorry, that's not on the menu.
Which is fascinating because it shifts the focus from just customer service to authorship,
Mm.
intention.
Yeah. The value isn't just in matching a taste someone already has, but in expressing something authentic, a unique perspective. The menu itself.
And the author stresses this isn't arrogance. It's not about being difficult.
No, it's more like an artist's studio, maybe. Each dish is a creation. You're invited to experience it, not, co-create it on the spot.
Exactly. It respects the integrity of the expression itself,
Yeah.
engaging with it on its own terms.
Which leads to this really important point about feedback versus, well, entitlement.
Ah, yes. That distinction.
The example given is someone tasting a soup and saying, it was okay, but I really wanted like a totally different soup.
Right. That's not engaging with the soups that was offered. It's just stating a preference, missing the point of the lentil soup, perhaps.
It's like reading a book and telling the author the main character should have had a different job or lived somewhere else.
Exactly. It's your fantasy, not a critique of the actual work.
Mhm.
The creator had a specific vision, a specific flavor they were aiming for.
No, the author does make a crucial point about honoring genuine dietary needs. That's different.
Absolutely. Inclusion, safety, that's non-negotiable.
But there's a clear line drawn between those real needs and just, wanting every little thing tailored to a fleeting preference.
That nuance is critical. Accommodating needs is empathy. But catering to every whim can dilute the whole thing, make it less authentic.
And this ties into that wider pressure we see, right? Creators feeling pushed to make like easily digestible junk food for mass appeal.
Oh, definitely. Because it sells. It's safe. But you lose the unique flavors, the risk-taking. Everything gets a bit bland.
Yeah, kind of flattened out. This inner restaurant seems to be pushing back against that, not out of superiority, but because it's personal.
It's small, specific, non-scalable. And that's presented as a strength, not a limitation. Authenticity thrives there.
They're not trying to get every customer. They want the right customers.
The ones willing to engage.
People who are open, curious, willing to try something maybe unfamiliar and really taste the intention behind it.
Seeking that genuine connection
Yeah.
rather than just volume or pleasing everyone.
And there are these two quotes that just nail it. First, this isn't a restaurant that changes its recipes to meet you. It invites you to meet it.
Powerful. It puts the onus on the receiver to be open.
And the second, we ask for understanding, not submission. For openness, not obedience.
That really captures the spirit.
Mm.
It's an invitation, not a demand. Curiosity over conformity.
Okay, so we get the philosophy of this place. Unique, intentional, but who's actually running the show? Let's talk about the staff.
Yes, the personification of different inner aspects. It makes it so much easier to grasp their functions.
First up is Bannock, the general manager. He's like the steady pulse of the place.
The stabilizer.
Yeah, keeping things harmonious between the inside, the kitchen, and the outside presentation. Focused on balance, preventing burnout, managing resources.
He represents that part of us managing overall stability, our executive functions maybe, mediating between inner drives and outer reality.
Described as calm, alert, patient, really loyal to the rest of the staff, the other parts of self. Believes in the house philosophy.
Grounded.
He greets the customers or external interactions with clarity. Doesn't bend the menu, the core values. Supports the whole team.
That greeting part is key, setting boundaries clearly, communicating intention from the get-go, staying true to values.
And his quote is perfect. This place serves what it believes in. We hope you'll try the special. Views the inner world as a home with an open sign.
Such a warm image, offering yourself authentically but knowing not everyone will come in.
Okay, next is Liz. Supervisor, front of house lead. Liz is all about the presentation, crafting the outward scene.
The persona, the face we present to the world, calm magnetism making that impression.
Exactly. Magnetic, deliberate, expects admiration, guards the vision, like our self-image. She kind of ensnares attention, manages the vibes.
Definitely a curated experience.
Yeah, guides interactions subtly, but doesn't do off-menu requests, meaning like inauthentic self-presentation. Her line is, "If you want to enjoy the meal, darling, let me lead the dance."
Liz highlights that performative aspect we all have. Makes you wonder how much that outward face aligns with the inner kitchen, right?
Good question. Then there's Kelly, the hostess. She offers the initial welcome, the comfort, and an empathetic bridge.
Kelly is that compassionate understanding part. Fostering belonging, navigating social stuff with kindness, emotional intelligence.
Gentle, empathetic, a good listener, operates with compassionate integrity, welcomes new experiences, new people, reads discomfort and eases it, sets soft boundaries.
Connection over consumption seems to be her focus.
Yeah, exactly. She represents soft boundaries and sincere welcome.
A vital role, empathy, creating that safe space for interaction.
Now Mac, the bartender. Mac creates personalized experiences, the drinks, based on intuition, reading the vibe of the external world, the customer.
Mac is our intuitive, creative, connecting self, improvising, translating feelings or situations into, well, tangible expressions or solutions.
Joyful, observant, improvisational, attentive. Provides relief or recognition. Offers unexpected drinks, insights, connections. Enjoys unique interactions, those special requests. Notices unspoken needs.
Mac shows how fluid and adaptable we can be, responding creatively, often to things not explicitly stated.
Then we have Addie, the waitress. All energy and enthusiasm, making people feel positive, seen, facilitating the meal, the experience.
Addie is our optimistic, resilient, expressive side, bringing light, joy, making others feel acknowledged.
Joyful, contagious energy, attentive, resilient, focuses on connection, not just the transaction. Creates a positive vibe, makes guests feel special, adds light.
Her philosophy is great. If I can make someone feel seen, even just a little bit brighter, then the shift was worth it.
I love that. Shows the impact of just, positive attention.
Absolutely.
Okay, then Kenny, the dishwasher, the unseen guardian, making sure the essential groundwork, the order is flawless behind the scenes.
Kenny symbolizes those diligent, detail-oriented parts of us,
Ah.
often unacknowledged, but maintaining the inner systems, the integrity, the foundation.
Focused, quiet, purposeful. Prioritizes order, respect for the process. Values integrity over recognition. Just keeps things clean, functional, running smoothly. No fanfare needed.
Highlights those crucial, often invisible efforts that keep everything stable so the more visible parts can function.
All right, heading into the kitchen now. Pira, the prep cook.
The foundational layer.
Yes, working quietly, intentionally, building the essential flavors, the components for every dish.
Pira embodies patience, intuition, the often uncelebrated work that provides the groundwork, the subtle depth for everything else. Meticulous preparation.
Precise, meditative, focused on the basics, finds meaning in enabling others. Works behind the scenes, adding that crucial, subtle depth with care.
Underscores the value of that foundational work. Not always flashy, but essential for richness and complexity.
Then Tommy, the line cook. Spontaneous, experimental. Driven by feeling, intuition.
Our impulsive, artistic, emotionally driven self.
Right. Leads to unique, heartfelt dishes, but maybe not always perfectly consistent. Prioritizes authentic expression, creative exploration over rigid rules. Takes risks.
Values the emotional resonance, the meaning, maybe more than perfect execution every single time.
Instinctive, unpredictable, soulful, risky. His mantra, it's not meant to last, it's meant to mean something.
Captures that need for authentic, in-the-moment expression, even if it's messy or imperfect. It's about the feeling it conveys.
Next, Devin, the sous chef, the stabilizing force in the kitchen.
Ensuring consistency, quality, smooth execution, especially under pressure.
Devin is our disciplined, focused, reliable aspect, translating intentions into tangible results with integrity and quality.
Controlled, composed, precise, loyal to the vision. Prioritizes execution, consistency. Quietly resolves issues, supports the team when things get hectic. Devin shows the need for structure and discipline to actually bring those creative impulses into reality reliably.
And finally, the heart of it all, Val, the executive chef.
The visionary, the author of the menu.
Yes, represents our core identity, beliefs, intentions, sets the tone, quality, integrity for the whole restaurant, our driving creative force.
Shapes the whole inner experience and outward expression, sets the direction, protects the core vision.
Driven, demanding, deeply devoted, values excellence, authenticity above all, protective of the vision, sets the menu, leads with conviction, nurtures the team's potential.
Prioritizes truth over just pleasing others.
And her quote is intense. A traveler doesn't tell the pilot how to fly the plane, so a guest doesn't get to tell the chef how to cook. Whoa!
Shows that commitment to the core vision. Her aim, the text says, is to offer others the climb of self-understanding.
So that's the incredible team. What about the menu itself? What are they serving?
The menu is the output, right? Our thoughts, feelings, ideas, creative expressions, whatever comes out of that inner kitchen.
And it's not static. It changes with the internal weather, moods, energy levels, inspiration, not just based on external demand.
Reflects the dynamic, sometimes unpredictable flow of our inner state. Our thoughts and feelings shift constantly.
There are comfort staples, those familiar go-tos, but also rotating offerings. It's described as a continuous conversation.
The staples ground us. The rotating stuff is growth, exploration. The conversation is that dialogue within ourselves and with the world.
And again, the goal isn't just catering to what people already like. It's offering new experiences, encouraging open-mindedness, trust in the chefs, our inner guidance.
Even the unfamiliar stuff comes from a place of care, of intention.
Yeah. 2 more great quotes about the menu. You're not here to get what you already like. You're here to try something you didn't know you could love.
Challenges us to step outside our comfort zone.
And the other, it's not about whether you like it or not, but why.
That prompts deeper reflection. Moving beyond just surface reactions to understand the underlying meaning or intention.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, this inner restaurant. The ideal scenario, anyway.
Yeah, the analogy paints this ideal interaction, resonant, intuitive, a real connection.
A rich experience where the customer, the external engagement, feels truly understood, moved by the meal, the offering. No rigid stuff like reservations or checks, just trust and surrender.
Effortless flow, deep appreciation for the care involved, real reciprocal understanding.
But then there's the reality. Often it's a quieter restaurant. Many customers, our daily interactions, are less engaged. They treat it like just grabbing a bite, you know? Miss the deeper intention, the subtle flavors.
The disconnect is real, isn't it? The richness inside versus how it's often received superficially outside.
And sometimes there's negative feedback, even strong reactions from people who just don't get the philosophy. They want different ingredients, dislike the vibe, demand things not on the menu.
That friction is inevitable when authentic expression meets expectations that don't align.
But even with that, the team, our inner self, keeps going. Dedicated, hoping the next person through the door will connect with the magic.
That persistence, despite indifference or misunderstanding, speaks to the value of just being authentic, whether it's validated externally or not.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into the restaurant analogy, what's the big takeaway, the core insight?
I think the core insight is really how powerful this framework is for understanding all those different parts of ourselves, our inner staff, and how our authentic production, our inner menu, interact with the outside world's consumption, its expectations. It pushes us to acknowledge our own team, our own unique offerings.
It really makes you think about your own inner restaurant, doesn't it? Like, who's running the show most often? Am I operating from my own menu, my intention? Or am I constantly trying to adjust for external taste?
Exactly. It invites that deeper self-reflection. How much were we prioritizing authenticity versus maybe seeking approval?
So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. What does it mean for you to be a right customer of your own inner world?
Ooh, good question.
To really appreciate the story and the sauce of your own experiences, even the tricky ones. Maybe it's about learning to embrace your full, complex menu without always demanding substitutions from yourself.
That's a beautiful and profound challenge. How do we cultivate that deeper appreciation and understanding for our own internal landscape, all its unique flavors and intentions? It's really about fostering a more compassionate connection with ourselves, isn't it? Much like the author hopes for with their metaphorical restaurant.